Hold on. Look at.
Good morning. Welcome to the Takeover. I am your host, Khisha brij'on, alongside the King of LA Sports, Richard Lopez. And if you are looking for your daily sports fix, then you have come to the right place. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm very good. I brushed off all my negative energy I had in my life over the weekend, and I feel great. You know, it was a great weekend. Surrounding myself with important people.
Okay.
And it was a good weekend. Thank you for asking.
You're more than welcome.
Good. Appreciate it.
No problem. Today we are going to talk about the NBA playoffs, the first rounds, who's been eliminated and who's still in the running. Let's start off with the East. Let's start off with the West, because you know I have some stuff I need to get off my chest.
Let's start off with the teams
West
that were eliminated over the weekend, and I will let you start off with this.
Okay, so first we have OKC. They took out the Rockets. They actually won that series 4-2.
Yeah.
103-94 was the final score in that game 6. Even though Westbrook was out with a torn meniscus, Kevin Durant, as always, stepped up to the plate and took them to that next level. So they will definitely, they're definitely going to be a force to reckon with when they face the Memphis Grizzlies in round 2. Who defeated my Los Angeles Clippers?
Yes, those Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
Zebo in the bunch.
Zebo in the bunch.
Yes,
118-105 was the final score. I'll put it out there. I talked about the Lakers getting swept, but, you know, the Clippers were pretty much swept in their own right after leading the series 2-0. They go on and let the Grizzlies beat them 4-0 in the final, in the final series. So I'm disappointed. My feelings are hurt. I'm disappointed. The old Clippers showed up. I had so much hope for them, and they just got bullied in the paint. They got bullied, and they lost their composure in that game 6. They had plenty of opportunity to come back and win that game, and they could not hold it together, which speaks to their playoff immaturity. They really need to learn how to step up to the plate.
They sure do. Okay, where is it? Remember, right here. Okay, this is my problem with the Clippers. They need a new coach. Vinny Del Negro is not the answer for the Clippers. And this is the perfect reason why. They went up 2-0, which means they had a great game plan going into the first 2 games. And then what happened? They got swept the last 4 games. Why? Because Memphis's coach, he switched the game plan up, and Del Negro wasn't able to follow it. He couldn't switch his plan up to counter the Memphis game plan. They had Tony Allen on Chris Paul, which completely threw him off. And if Chris Paul is out of whatever team he's on, if he's taken out of the game, then their team's not going to do good at all. And that's exactly what happened. But I've been saying since Del Negro got there that he's not the guy for the Clippers. The GM and the owner are putting the right players. They have the most depth in the league, I believe.
I believe too. I believe so too.
They don't have the coach. And I hate to say it, but they just don't have, they don't have that coach.
But how much can you put it on coaching? Because I do believe they have the best depth in the league. I pretty much believe that you take the Clippers bench, put those 5, they can be starters in anywhere in the league. But how much accountability do you put on the coach? At some point, the players have to step up. Chauncey Billups did not show up at all for the playoffs. Crawford showed up a little bit. Caron Butler didn't show up. Lamar Odom was a no-show. So at what point do you say, you know what? We need to hold these players accountable as well. The coach can only do so much.
It's hard to show up for these guys when they're on the bench. No, they show up, but do they get on the court? And that's the coach's problem. Perfect example, Jamal Crawford. He had in game 5, he came off the bench and he put up almost 20 points off the bench, and he barely played in game 6. What is that about? How is that? Whose problem is that? Do you think Jamal Crawford doesn't want to play? He wants to play. It's the coach didn't put him in there. For what? Like, these guys, you can't blame it on the age, because these guys, most of them are veterans. And these guys have been around the game. There's guys with rings on the team. Leadership in that locker room should not be a problem. They have Grant Hill. Grant Hill, he probably still drinking Sprite. Grant Hill, he's there. He's a leader. And I mean, my opinion is it's the coach's problem. That's what I think. And I think until they switch the coach, well, before that, they got to re-sign CP3.
They do have to sign CP3. That, I think, is their biggest responsibility this year in the offseason, getting that free agent wrapped up and keeping him in L.A. We cannot afford to lose him. As good as Jamal Crawford is, we definitely need CP3. So hopefully they'll take care of business in that sense, the Clippers have an issue with signing their talent and bringing them back. So I'm hoping they can address that issue, give that man his money,
I think
and keep him in LA.
they're still going to have an issue with this. You might be right. CP3 is going to be in LA. But we don't know which team.
No. He's not going to the Lakers. No,
we never know. Well, he was supposed to go to the Lakers, but that never happened.
Well, you guys got Dwight, so stop crying about it.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Big whoop-de-doo, Dwight Howard. Okay, so moving on to the team that eliminated the Clippers, the Grizzlies played the Oklahoma City Thunder yesterday.
They did. Marc Gasol actually put up 20 points, 10 rebounds, and had 2 blocks. And Zebo, 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 1 assist. However, that did not stop OKC from taking that game. Kevin Durant put up 35 points, including the pull-up jumper with 11 seconds left to win that game. And OKC ended up winning 93-91.
Yeah, it was a great game. The game I watched the Grizzlies dominated the whole game.
They did.
They dominated the entire game until Kevin Durant took over in the fourth quarter, and he was the Kevin Durant we all know.
Yeah,
yes. So maybe he's trying to find his groove right now without Russell Westbrook. Yeah, without Russell Westbrook. So we'll give him, but I think the Thunder are going to take this series. I think the Grizzlies will get a couple, but I think the Thunder in 6.
I believe so too. It was funny because Kevin Durant was saying with the Rockets, they were playing cheetahs, and now with the Grizzlies they're playing bears. So they have to kind of switch up their style on how they play because Gasol and Zebo, they're big down there. They really don't have any two other than Perkins. I really don't think they have some players that can match up with them. Well, maybe Ibaka as well.
No, that's going to be a great Ibaka against Zach Ibaka and Perkins. Yeah, Ibaka and Perkins against Gasol and Randolph. That's a great match.
Yeah.
If you love basketball, watch that matchup. Physical and. Yeah, it's going to be a great look for a lot of fouls to be called.
And another surprise. Well, I don't think it should be a surprise because he's a veteran and he's shown how skillful he is in the playoffs. Derek Fisher, his defense was awesome. His defense was pivotal in them winning that game. With that 20 seconds left with him stripping the ball from Mike Conley, that won them the game. Yeah. If it wasn't for D. Fisher.
See, Fisher he's a great player. You put him in those type of situations. But he can't be a starter no more. He's a situational type of player. When you need a big shot,
come off the bench, give me energy player. Right.
If you put him in a starting role, these point guards are going to run all around him. But he's a clutch player, and the Thunder got him for reasons like this.
Yes.
And he delivered exactly when they needed to. And another bright spot for the Thunder, Kevin Martin, 25 points, 7 rebounds off the bench.
Yes.
James Harden's replacement.
Yes.
He's finally showing up, and other than Durant, he's the only player on that team that can actually create shots with Westbrook out. So he needs to step up. So, yeah, there was another game yesterday, too.
Yes, the Knicks, who defeated the Celtics in 6 games. They played Indiana. They fell to Indiana 102-95. But the Knicks actually won their first playoff series in 13 years, defeating the Celtics.
Yeah,
so let's see. I wonder how far they can get in this series. I think they're going to have a tough time with Indiana, with West, and just having that young squad. I think Indiana's going to present them some problems. What do you think?
Yeah, as we talked about on our first show we did together, I said the Pacers were my sleeper pick, with all the talk about the Heat. And they just went out and they totally threw Carmelo off of his game plan.
Yes.
Carmelo had 27 points, and for a normal player that's good, but Carmelo averages in the mid-30s for points per game. And those were a tough 11 points to get, or a tough 27 points to get. And so they were all over him. Paul George played on him most of the game, and he was all over him. Carmelo could barely get any shots off. David West was switching up, putting a body on him. And the Knicks never seemed to get in the rhythm at all. Melo was getting bullied by David West and Paul George in the paint. All game he was getting bullied. Never got into any sort of rhythm.
No, not at all. And I think what it is they're still in that we're playing the Celtics mindset. This is not the Celtics.
No, it's not.
You're not going to be able to defeat the Pacers the way that you defeated the Celtics. For one, with Boston, you were able to pressure Avery Bradley, Paul Pierce, because they really don't have anybody that can create a shot for them. But with the likes of David West, Roy Hibbert in the post, Paul George, who can pretty much do everything, DJ Augustine, who gets hot from the three-point line, you're not going to be able to shut them down the way that you shut the Celtics down. So you're going to have to come with a different game plan if you plan on winning this series.
Yeah, they're going to have to come with a completely different game plan because Frank Vogel is known for being one of the best defensive coaches in the league. So he right there, his team will always come ready to play, no matter who is on the court. Those guys are going to give it their all, and they're going to put together a good team effort because that's just the type of coach he is. They have leadership on the team. David West had his 20 points last night. Just an emotional leader for that team. And look for the Pacers to make noise. They consistently put out a good basketball team.
Definitely. I have 6 players that at any time can potentially put up double figures. So you need to, I don't know what they're going to do to figure it out, how to guard these, how to guard, West and Paul George. But if they don't figure it out quick, they will definitely be eliminated.
Yeah.
They will definitely be eliminated. And Carmelo Anthony and J.R. Smith, they only shot 14 for 43 combined, 33%.
Yeah, J.R. Smith, he was the 6th man of the year, but he only got 17 points off the bench with 5 rebounds. He had been getting into some off-court troubles. The game he got kicked out, supposedly he got into a fight at a nightclub.
Wow.
And someone supposedly gave him that work.
Oh.
So he's been,
maybe he's
not himself.
Maybe he's recovering from that a little bit.
He might be recovering from that altercation he had. But yeah, there's the 2 other games that are on tonight.
Yes.
Those ones are coming up tonight, and I'm excited for those ones.
Yes, that would be the Heat versus...
The Heat versus the Chicago Bulls.
Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be a good game.
And it's still up in the air if Jalen Rose will suit up. I don't know if he will.
So.
And even if he does, I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much going to stay out the season. It's a calculated risk to put him out there. You have to understand he is the future of that franchise. And I think it's just better if he's not mentally in it, because he's been cleared medically. He's just not mentally in it. So if he's not mentally in it, I don't think you want him out there on the court, because when you're not in it mentally, then you have a chance of re-injury.
Yeah.
So he just needs to sit out the rest of the season.
It's a mental thing with him, and he's just not comfortable with jumping on his left leg and all that other stuff. But I mean, let me ask you this question: if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and there's a potential chance of them getting to the NBA Finals, if you're Jalen Rose, do you do it? Do you play?
I would
just to give him that spirit off the bench?
I would say no, because he's giving him the spirit off the bench. He's very productive, and he's very active on the bench. He's showing his point guards what he sees, what they're missing. He's telling them where they need to block, where they need to pick up. So he's very active on the bench. He's giving them that. And the fact that his team is not pouting around or, pouting about, oh, he's not playing, he's been cleared. To me, that states that his team believes in his decision and believes in him. So I don't think you need to risk putting him out there. Yeah.
He said it's all through the media. He said that he's never, no one's ever approached him from the organization asking him to play, but I don't know. I'm sure they've had their own certain way of asking him. I mean, he's a superstar. He was the MVP of the basketball of NBA a few years ago. So, I mean, he couldn't hurt them, but it's probably a safer decision for them to hold him off.
Yeah,
so
I believe so. And then we also have the Warriors going up against the Spurs tonight, which is going to be very interesting. You have that young Buck team going against the old veterans who are just one of the best fundamentally sound teams in the league, if not the best. That's going to be very interesting with Clay and Curry in the backcourt. I'm very interested to see what's going on with that game.
The Golden State Warriors have become the most exciting team in basketball.
Yes.
They have their home court advantage is like no other. Although they're not going to have it this round, but if they could steal a game in San Antonio, then it switches back to them. And the Oracle Center in Oakland is just electric when they play. They love Stephen Curry, and the vibe that he has with the crowd as he plays is amazing. I would love to just, as a basketball fan, to go watch a game up there just to witness the atmosphere. It reminds me of the way the Kings, like back in the day when the Kings were playing the Lakers.
With, Jason Williams.
Yeah, the way in the cowbells and the Arco Arena, how it used to get very loud. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to these next two, all the series that are left. The Warriors and the Spurs, the Thunder and the Grizzlies, the Heat and the Bulls, and the Pacers and the Pacers and the Knicks.
Yes.
All of them are good series, and I just so excited can't wait to come back and report to everybody what's going on. But yeah, my predictions, hate to say it, although the Golden State's very exciting, the Spurs in 7, the Thunder to beat the Grizzlies, the Pacers to give the Knicks that work, and I also picked the Heat to give the Chicago Bulls, a loss in a 6-game loss.
6 games?
Six games.
And they lose in 6 to the Heat.
Yeah, they lose the 6 to the Heat because
I pretty much agree
they need
with that.
Jalen Rose.
I pretty much agree with that. And speaking of the Heat, They actually have the MVP of the league this season in LeBron James. This is his 4th MVP in 5 years. He is the youngest player to do it at the age of 28 to win 4 MVPs, and he joins an elite group of players: Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell of the players who have 4 or more MVPs. Kareem topping that list with 5.
Yeah.
So congratulations to him.
Yeah, it's not a surprise right there.
No, I don't think so.
He almost broke the record for a unanimous vote for the MVP. There was one
vote.
guy, a Boston reporter,
voted for Carmelo.
Yeah, voted for Carmelo, Gary Washburn out of Boston, and his reasoning, it's hard to argue with. Without LeBron, the Heat can probably still make a deep run, like in the playoffs. Without LeBron, the Heat will make a deep run. Without Carmelo, the Knicks probably don't make the playoffs and don't do too much. It all centers around him. You seen what happened last night when he got shut down. The team didn't do too well. If you shut down LeBron, you still got to worry about Wade. You still, so I see Washburn's point. Actually, if I were to get a vote, and I should, if I were to ever get a vote, I would probably vote for Carmelo too, if not Durant.
Yes.
So, that's just my opinion. I'm not knocking him. I'm not arguing the point. I just see the point of view of the guy who didn't vote for LeBron. That's all.
Understandably.
So, what do you think?
I think that, I agree with the almost unanimous decision because, not to ever disagree with the king, I really think that they would have a problem going deep without LeBron. D-Wade, excellent, but Bosh, he's iffy sometimes. Sometimes he plays and other times he just lays down. So I really think without LeBron, they wouldn't go that far. You see, they made it with D-Wade being hurt.
Yeah.
They really don't make it when LeBron doesn't play. So I think that he is the MVP of the league and the MVP of that team.
He deserves it. But all I'm saying is I see the point of view. That's all. Because any team that has Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they're going to be a good team.
Yeah,
without
I agree.
LeBron. He took the team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, to the finals and by himself pretty much. But yeah, I see his point of view. No argument here, though. LeBron deserves it, and look for him to be getting a few more, probably by when it's all said and done. So,
I would agree with that as well.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Well, that's all that we have today for you in basketball news. I am your host, once again, Khisha brij'on. You can catch me on YouTube at Khisha brij'on.
And you can catch me on my YouTube channel, which is The King of LA Sports. You can catch me on Instagram, The King of LA Sports, and on my Twitter with Rich Lopez, KOLASC.
Thank you again for joining us here at the Takeover. Until next time, may the sports be with you.
And roll the dice.